What's more important is like being a practitioner. I mean, just developing the skills, because you're going to meet more high quality people. Like the people that network for the sake of networking are just stay away from those types. In my opinion, like they're not trying to bring anything to the table. They're trying to show you how nice they are so they can extract something from you. When you like become the Amazon guy or you become the Facebook ads guy, this door opens and that door opens. It's a more genuine connection that lends itself to strong, real, long-term relationships. And so I don't think I could get to 9 figures or a billion without, mentors. A lot of people say that. It's like, how do I find my first product? It's like, A, stop consuming and start observing, right? Because the shit you're being fed on your feed all day is profitable opportunities. You're hearing people's problems. And your job as an entrepreneur is to serve those problems. And so that's really where the framework for coming out with your first product should start from.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you basically touched on it a couple of times there. You kind of are helping these people in something that you know about transform themselves into, whatever that desired outcome is. That's really, really powerful for people to start thinking about when creating their business. So now you're saying, you're building Top Shelf and you hope that it will reach 9 figures. I think for sure it can, as with the numbers you're throwing up right now, especially with 0 ads. How do you think, what are some things you think are going to be necessary to get to that point? Do you think it's just the same of what you've done up till this point, just compounded even further?
Well, I think when you start to get, when you're trying to go from like 8 to 9 figures, there's a lot of 8-figure businesses out there, which is fantastic. Nothing wrong with that fly kind of under the radar. Like they just have a good, solid sound business, strong unit economics, loyal fan base they found through, one means or another. To get to 9 figures, I think you got to start denting yourself in the culture. Like you need to get ingrained in the culture in some capacity, and you need to pick where that is. So it's like, is Andrew Tate going to show up on War Room with Alpha Grind? And if he does, how is that going to reverberate around social media? And usually you can't even get to that conversation until you are an 8-figure brand. But that type of social echoing is where I think you go to 9 figures. Damn. And then obviously you got to do all the blocking and tackling of the business at that point too. Are you picking a strategic retail partner? Like, what does all that look like? What does the internal infrastructure look like? What's your talent look like? It's a different game that I haven't done yet, but I've studied enough where I feel like, okay, I have an appreciation of how this works and the different levers you have to tag on. Obviously the product mix still needs to be super strong, but you just become part of the culture.
Right. Wow. I never thought of it like that, but that's so true. It's funny. You probably sold a lot of your product because like you said that you've never actually gone to school about this, or you graduated college, but like you've learned yourself, like you haven't gotten mentors or anything. And it seems like just crazy how much you know. So it's like your product is just great for selling the Genius product, for example. I'm like, oh, that kind of makes sense that people bought that, knowing you.
Well, I do have mentors, now. Like when I started, I didn't really. And I think mentors are important, but I think what's more important is like being a practitioner. I mean, just developing the skills, because you're going to meet more high quality people. Like the people that network for the sake of networking are just stay away from those types. In my opinion, like they're not trying to bring anything to the table. They're trying to show you how nice they are so they can extract something from you. But when you like become the Amazon guy or you become the Facebook ads guy and this door opens and that door opens, it's a more genuine connection that lends itself to like strong, real, long-term relationships. And so like I don't think I could get to 9 figures or a billion without, mentors and people that have kind of walked that road, so to speak. So yeah.
That's so powerful. So then let me ask you this. If you had to start from zero, this is a question I like to ask because my audience tends to hover around people who are kind of starting from zero, even though there's a bit of everything. But if you had to start from zero right now with what you know, what would you do to create your business, or what business would you even create?
I mean, I'd be playing the same game. Do I have the same knowledge base?
Yeah, same knowledge.
Oh yeah, so we'll be super specific. So if I have $0, because I get asked this sometimes too, if I had $0, I would, identify my product and my market, and I'd use some sort of AI to kind of develop the brand and get the structure together. I would pour into short form content because you need nothing but an iPhone to create that. I would do a Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign, which are both crowdfunding sources where you can put your product up. Is your audience familiar with those?
Yeah, so I'm
More
sure they are. I mean, it's pretty popular, I would say, or not popular, but well known.
well known, yeah. So basically, it's a platform where you can put your idea up and have people pre-order your stuff and raise money for your first run. And so that's what I'd do. I'd use short form content to drive the traffic there. Hopefully we'd hit a big enough home run where I could fund my first order and make a little bit less for the, or, more for the next order. I would obviously fulfill the Kickstarter campaign. I'd use the additional funds to start on Amazon. Knowing me, I'd probably try to negotiate with the manufacturer for some terms to get a little more inventory. And we'd launch on Amazon with the same short form playbook. We start applying PPC, doubling down, reinvesting. I would live at home on a couch, so I don't need to take any money out of the business. That's what I did with Genius. I didn't live fancy at all. I poured everything back into the business, and that's what I would do again until I got to a point where I felt comfortable.
Wow.